What's up, y'all? Toya here, and I am back with another video for y'all. Before we get into the video, make sure you guys either like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Alright, y'all, welcome back to another episode of Toya Reacts. So today we have 3 more Reddit stories that we are going to react to, and we're gonna go ahead and discuss on whether or not the posters are right or wrong. Are they the a-hole? Or yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give you my thoughts. So let's start off with this first story. So this is about a Walmart delivery. I pay annual for Walmart Plus, which includes free delivery, ordering once or twice a week. It's usually pretty smooth. They're so impressive here. I've ordered 70 items in 3-hour delivery and they show up early. Often I'll schedule 3-hour delivery for 15 items or so, and it's at my door in 45 minutes. Usually pretty happy, and the store is 12 minutes away too. Today, I ordered 82 items on 3-hour delivery. Once a shopper was assigned, I let her know that I know it's a lot, and if it takes a bit more time, no big deal. And immediately, one item after another, unavailable, with no alternative. I'm talking things like Cheerios, Frosted Flakes, bottled water, ground beef. Tried to contact the shopper, no answer. Online chat is closed, and the customer service number isn't open for the day yet. Tried to cancel and it won't let me. Driver and shopper are the same person. So you know what? Fine, I did my job, but if you won't even put the smallest of effort to do yours and your supervisors are completely unreachable, so be it. I'll let you shop, drive here, and deliver, and you can look forward to my tip being reduced from $20 to $0. If you won't even try a little, neither will my wallet. Am I the a-hole? All right, let's start with the driver here. I don't know what was going on with this shopper, driver slash shopper. I don't know what was going on with them. So I only have done a handful of shop orders on Spark, so I'm not too in tune with like how the whole process works. You know, it seems like every time I do a shop order, things are a little bit different. Like when I did my last shop order, somebody wanted a specific brand of tortillas. They didn't have them, but they had another brand. So I'm fully expecting to have the option to select that brand as a substitution. But when I marked that the original item was available or was not available, it just went to the next item. It just marked it as unavailable and moved on to the next. So it could be a thing of maybe these items are not actually available and they could not substitute them. I don't know, on the customer side, is there an option for them to say they don't want substitutions and, you know, the shopper can't substitute? I don't know. Like, I don't even shop at Walmart, let alone use their online delivery. So I don't even really know what that looks like on the customer side. But as a driver, you know, I get 82 items is quite a bit. It is definitely a bit. You know, if you didn't want to go ahead and put in the effort, then don't take the order. You know, don't half-ass it. Do the order to its fullest. And if these items legit were not available, let the customer know. Send them a picture, something. Don't just go ghost and not say anything. Yeah, driver, shopper, you definitely, yeah. Now, for the customer, so I don't know how many items you ended up getting in the end. You know, if you only get half your items, or if you got like 10 items out of 80, or like maybe, I don't know, 70 out of 82, whatever. You didn't say how many you ended up with at the end of the day. I understand your frustration. You tried to contact the shopper, the driver. You tried to contact the support, and I'm assuming this is a Spark driver, obviously, so there's no supervisors or anything like that, right? So, you know, you're doing everything in your power. You're doing what you think is the right thing to try to, you know, see what's going on with your order. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. But to drop your tip from $20 to $0, if you wanted to drop your tip, I would be perfectly fine with that, considering that, you know, however much stuff that supposedly wasn't there, you probably didn't get. But I don't think dropping it to $0 is really necessary. To be honest, for 82 items, I don't think a $20 tip was enough. And not to justify what the driver did, but they probably saw it as like, well, I'm only getting paid this much. I'm not about to put too much effort into it. So like I said, not defending the driver or anything, but a $20 tip, and this is 82 items. If I had to guess, you probably had about a $200, maybe $300 bill, maybe, if not more. Yeah, your bill was up there. $20 was not enough. So I'm gonna say kind of not the a-hole here. Like I said, your frustration is justified, but to reduce the tip all the way down to 0 when they still did actually get you some things, drove there and got you, what little bit that they did, I don't think you should have reduced it to 0. But that's just me. All right, moving on to the next story. Am I the a-hole for not being ready for my delivery? Basically, Walmart has this delivery thing where it's I'm assuming you're just trying to say where they give you an hour time span. Okay. Where you will receive your order. For this particular order, I had to sign because it had alcohol in it. I had my earbuds in and I didn't hear the doorbell ring as I was waiting for 11 o'clock. Apparently the delivery guy came 15-20 minutes early, so I wasn't expecting him. He didn't call or text me saying he was at the door either. It was only when he screamed, "It's freezing out here," that I came to the door. I legitimately didn't expect him to be so early. I wish he called me to give me a heads up or something. I feel bad about this since it was cold, but am I the a-hole for not being ready that early? This is probably the first time Walmart had been way early with the delivery. As a customer, well, I don't even want to say as a customer, let's just say as a driver, we don't have any control over when the deliveries are going to actually get to your door. There have been plenty of times when, somebody might schedule a delivery for, like in this case, 11 to 12. It might show up at 10:30. It might show up at 1 o'clock. We don't have control over when the order actually gets sent out to us. And I know you're probably thinking, why do they have the time frames in the first one? I don't know. Talk to the folks that design the stuff. Listen, it's not the driver's fault. Okay, they're just giving us stuff. They say, hey, go deliver it, and that's it. So he didn't know that was your scheduled delivery. Like you were scheduled for 11 to 12. He just got the stuff and he's on his way to deliver it. So he has no way of knowing that you weren't expecting him until 11. I typically don't call my customers unless I can't get a hold of them, or if I'm gonna need like some assistance with like getting into the area. So say for instance, like an apartment complex, I might try to reach out to them so I can actually get into the building. Or if I'm unable to figure out exactly where I need to go, I'll call them. But I usually don't call to give a heads up like, hey, I'm pulling up. It just kind of depends on the circumstances. But 9 times out of 10, I'm just gonna go to the door, drop it off, and boom, whatever. So I'm assuming with the driver, they probably tried to knock, ring the bell, and I'm guessing the next thing would have been to call, or maybe they were gonna call support, I don't know. But you got to be ready. You have to be ready. I'm not really going to put that on the driver other than the fact that they probably could have called. But as a customer, you got to be ready. I get, like I said, you selected a specific time frame, but I never understood. This is just me, okay? Every time I order something, I watch my phone like crazy. I promise you. I legit be stalking the driver sometimes, okay? Because I'm ready for my stuff, especially if it's food. If it's food, man. So you in your house. First of all, you live by yourself. You got earbuds in, bro. Just blast your music. Like, I'll be paranoid. And I know this is gonna be completely off topic, but as a gamer, unless I have to be super immersed into the game, I always only have one earbud in when I'm playing the game, just so I can hear, just in case, either, somebody at the door, or somebody call me, or something fall, the cats get into something or whatever. I usually just have one earbud in, but that's just me. I don't know about y'all, okay? But I don't understand how you got both your earbuds in like that and not listening to your surroundings whatsoever. But now you got to be prepared. You got to be ready. So I know it's not intentional. You didn't mean to leave the dude out there sitting in the cold, but you kind of the a-hole for not being ready. I would say it's more so a minor inconvenience than anything. You didn't do it purposely, nothing like that. But you got to be prepared though. You really have to be prepared to receive these deliveries. Alrighty. So this is the last story. So this is a different thread. It's, am I overreacting? My fiance wants to quit his stable job to do DoorDash. Hello everyone, hope you're doing okay today. I've come across this issue with my fiance. Our situation is far from ideal as I am disabled, fighting to get disability for 5 years, and we've also been together for 5 years. He's been working for a food factory where he currently makes $17 an hour and will be getting a $1 raise next month. It's not great, but apart from my parents' monetary help, that's all we have. We live in central PA and it's not booming enough, in my opinion, to make enough by dashing. I don't know how to tell him to wait it out at his job until he can talk to an agency to find something else. He has really bad road rage and various untreated mental health issues. We tried dashing before when he was unemployed, but failed miserably. It's just an unfortunate situation. Am I overreacting by telling him he shouldn't quit his stable job to dash? Whew, okay, so no, I don't think you're overreacting, especially if you guys have tried it before and it didn't work out. The thing is, when it comes to gig work in general, you know, you're gonna have ups, you're gonna have downs. So it could be a thing of maybe when you guys did try to dash in the past, maybe it was a down period, so it just wasn't as profitable. You know, if anything, he could try different apps, but to just straight up quit his job just to go ahead and do gig apps, especially when, you know, you're disabled and you're trying to get on disability, you're not going to have any type of money coming in if he decides to quit his job. I don't want to say you're overreacting, but I feel like you guys could probably just have a bit of a discussion to figure out, like, okay, let's lay out how much we need to make for, you know, to cover our expenses. And based off of that number, you can determine on whether or not doing, you know, DoorDash or whatever other gig apps, if it's actually feasible. 17 an hour, like that's not a lot. Like, honestly, some people might make a little bit more depending on where you live. It depends on where you live. Some people make a little bit more doing gig work. Some people make less. It just depends. But $17, and with him getting a raise, so he's going to be at $18 an hour is not a lot. You know, if anything, maybe you guys can come to compromise a little bit. You know, maybe he's able to do some DoorDash on the weekends or after work, whatever it may be, you know, to kind of fill out the market. And the fact that he also has bad road rage, untreated mental health issues, you know, I don't know what those issues are, but that is also a concern as well. So not to say he's like mentally unstable or anything, but sometimes the frustration with gig work can bring out the worst in people. And, you know, I'm just saying, like, say, if you're not right in the head to be able to handle that amount of stress, that's also probably another reason why you shouldn't go ahead and try to do this type of work. But yeah, again, that's why I say, like, you know, when you're making decisions like this, because I talked about this on my other video, my other Toya Reacts, when there was the wife wanted to do Instacart, and it's the same thing. You know, it's all going to be dependent on your situation. So in this case, since you really don't have any money coming in, to go ahead and just be like, all right, I'm quitting my job to go ahead and do DoorDash, that's extremely irresponsible to do, especially if you didn't do any type of research or anything. You didn't, like I said, budget, figure out your expenses versus what you need to bring in to cover those expenses. It's extremely irresponsible to go ahead and just do that. So you have to have a plan and figure out if this would actually work, because it really can. Because like I said, 17 an hour is not a lot. You could potentially be able to make that, if not more, if you did DoorDash, or I don't know if Spark is out there, Roadie, Instacart, whatever other apps. But yeah, you got to figure it out. You have to weigh out all your options, yeah, and just go from there. So that's really all I got for that. But I definitely say they need to figure it out. They need to talk it out, discuss what their options are before they go ahead and make a decision. And yeah, so, but you're definitely not overreacting here. Yeah, but that's pretty much all I got for this video, guys. So I would love to know what you guys thought about these stories. I would love for you guys to go ahead and chime in and let me know what you think about these stories. Do you think they are the a-holes? Are they overreacting? You know, all that fun stuff. And then, of course, if you guys have anything that you would like me to react to, you can also let me know. Just let me know in the comments. Now, before I let you guys go, I have to remind you guys to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss a video. But I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. And as always, stay safe out there and keep grinding.